and we should be able to play the full version of the game. Right now there is a pre-order for a collector's edition up. I'm not going to go through all of the content that's in the collector's edition. You can see it online, and there are other people that have gone through it on their videos. But they have versions of it that are available for pre-order for those of you who are thinking about purchasing the game but haven't yet. And then also, like we mentioned last time, our last live stream, Patch 9 and the Panel from Hell are coming up here really quickly. And hopefully we'll be able to see Patch 9, which everyone is looking forward to, and everyone's kind of speculating that it's going to be the Paladin class being released based upon their Twitter post. And we'll look at that when it comes out and see what impact it may or may not have on our live stream and kind of go from there. So I think that wraps up the game notes. So on a recap from where we were last time. So last time we cleared out the Tollhouse, and then we moved up to the siege that was happening with the Zhentarim caravan guards. Got into a big fight there, broke that siege, and our barbarian intimidation came in really handy, and we convinced, quote unquote, the Zhentarim guards to give us the chest. And that's where we left off last time. So we're going to pick up this time. We're going to open up that chest and talk a little bit about what's in it. And then we're going to head over to Waukeen's Rest. Possibly the most bugged location in all of Early Access Baldur's Gate 3. So you're going to see me save during the play through Waukeen's Rest. Just because if things bug out or they don't go according to how I think the game should be playing it, then we'll restart and replay until we get it to happen. I think I've got some, after the playthroughs I've done, a fairly reliable way of completing one of the quests. But there is a chest that we also want to talk about, and sometimes that can get a little interesting as well when it comes to getting it. So I think without any further ado, we'll go ahead and jump in and start by opening up the chest and that we got from the Zhentarim guards last time and see what's in it, and then talk about that for a little bit.
The rest of our crew's half digested, and you're still alive. That's lucky.
Okay, so here we go. This is where we left off last time, and we have the caravan strongbox. Normally, this would be marked as steel. It would be outlined in red, and you would have to put somebody into hiding and watch the travel path that Rugen takes around this area to be able to pick this when nobody is watching you. But for now, we convinced them to give us access to it, so we're just going to go over here and utilize Astarion to lockpick the chest.
Well, lad.
Okay, so you can see we've got a whole lot of bonuses here. So it's a DC of 20 with Happy from having our vampiric bite during the encounter, with all of our other checks here, including the smuggler's ring that we picked up. We have a total bonus of plus 11 guaranteed to us. We're also going to have him throw on top of that guidance, which means we have a total bonus of 12 to 15 on a DC of 20. So what that means right now is that if I roll an 8 or above, I'm going to pass this, it could be as low as a 5, and I still have a chance to pass it. But we've got a couple of thieves' tools. We also have more in our inventory after these run out. There's just a stacking issue here. But we should be able to pass this, I think. So let's go ahead and take care of it. $30. Nice big roll. So not a problem for us at all. So now we'll take a look at it. Okay, so we have some gold. We have a ring. And we have the iron flask. Okay. So the main thing here is the iron flask. And we're going to take a look at this. And first of all, Will is again encumbered. So we're just going to move some of this around here. The iron flask. The iron flask is a tabletop item in addition to being in the game. And what it basically says is that there's a flask that can hold friends and foes, likely to make the former the latter. So in other words, if you put a friend in it, they're probably going to become a foe. But glowing flask is the condition it's under, and you can see that it says it radiates a curious energy. What that's telling you is that there's something inside of it. Now, the iron flask can be used in tabletop to capture other dimensional or other planar creatures. Meaning, creatures from the physical plane that we're on now can't be captured by it, but any creatures from other planes can be caught in it and held. And that's what has happened here. The iron flask has something in it, and it's something that you can release. If you right-click on it, we can inspect this and just look at it.
Decorated with a grinning face, this cold iron flask is sealed with a brass stopper.
Okay, so we have an Arcana check to investigate the flask, and we might as well try it. We don't have any bonuses to it. Okay, so we can add in guidance here and try our roll. Need a 2, and we only got a 1. I might as well use an inspiration. What the heck? Perfect.
Disguised among the decorative elements, you notice a familiar arcane engraving. This is a powerful magical item, capable of trapping and holding a creature. The sealed stopper suggests it is inhabited.
Okay. So you can't. Your inspection gives you some options there, and we learned more about it. If we inspect it again, it gives you the option to remove the stopper. Okay. You can remove the stopper and let whatever's in it out. But the iron flask will then stay with you, or it has in previous playthroughs. And I think I'm going to probably experiment with this when we get a little bit farther through the playthrough, or further through the playthrough, to see if we can let whatever's inside of it out and then use it to capture something else. I don't know if that gameplay has been implemented in their early access. I haven't seen anybody try to utilize it that way, but I may try and play a little bit offline and see if I can utilize it. But there is something in it, and you can remove the stopper. Another thing that you can do with it is you can throw it. When you throw it, and it lands at a certain location, you then have an opportunity to destroy it or to break it. So you can shoot at it with ranged attacks or with spells, and you can break it open, and then whatever's inside will be released, but the iron flask is then destroyed in the process. So, I think, like I say, I'm going to try and play with it a little bit offline once we get to a specific point a bit farther through in the playthrough. But we'll see kind of when we get there what we can do with this. The other thing that popped up was we got an addition to Gale's storyline, and it says there's enough weave in the Iron Flask to interest Gale. So, just like the Necromancy of Thay, just like the Sword of Justice, the Iron Flask is one of those items that Gale can absorb. Okay? So, again, there are conditions to that, in that if there's nothing in the Iron Flask, he's not going to want to absorb it. So, you make a choice whether to utilize the Iron Flask for yourself, or whether to give it to Gale intact and let him destroy it. And similar to a lot of the other choices that you're going to get with artifacts with Gale. But for now, I think that gets us what we needed. So we can go ahead and explore the rest of this area here. And I think to do that, we're probably just going to take Astarian and do some exploration here. So we can move up here and check some of these crates and that sort of stuff. Holding Alt, there's a heavy crossbow here. And some barrels. Okay. We are going to take that heavy crossbow that he picked up, and we're just going to move it over here for now.
Tread carefully.
Okay. Bedroll, couple of bedrolls. We have a backpack we can search. Nothing. We do have a book here. We have another backpack. Okay, nothing in these. And we do have some camp supplies that we are definitely going to pick up. Okay, some rope, a pickaxe. It's not really worth very much. Bucket, we have some burlap sacks that we can search over here. I'm going to cast Guidance on myself while I move up here. Okay. Now there's no way to get yourself past this area, so you have to jump. And you can see that there's a trap here. So when you jump across to this area, you want to jump over here because the trap is right here. So we're going to go ahead and use one of our disarm kits here. And again, all of our bonuses. The only way we could have failed that is with a natural one. Okay, and then we're going to move up here. It doesn't appear that the chest is trapped. Okay, nothing else. We got some burlap sacks we can search. So now we'll go ahead and lockpick the chest.
Pleasure.
Again, even with the lowest roll possible, without an automatic fail, we're going to open that up. And we get Reason's Grasp. And we'll talk about these here in a second. So, can move farther over here and just look around a little bit. But there's nothing here, so we're going to come back over here and jump back across this gap. Okay. So, I don't think we can move any farther out that way. We can't. Okay. So here you have some options here. There's a wooden trunk over there. And you see if we jump, we can make it over there. The issue is making your way back once you got over there. Because once you get there, it's kind of hard to tell, but you're jumping down onto this area, and then you would have to jump up to get back up here. So once you jump over there, you're not going to be able to make it back with Astarion. And he doesn't have any way to increase his jump or anything like that. So when you get over there, you're going to basically be stuck, and you're going to have to probably just teleport yourself back out to the Risen Road and come back around and come back in here once you're over here. But you need somebody to be able to pick this wooden trunk over here. So we're going to go ahead and jump over. And we're going to go ahead and lockpick this trunk. Okay, it's a DC of 5, so even without any added bonuses, we can't fail it except a natural 1. Okay, so we picked up some gold, and that's really it. We have some wooden barrels we can search. Okay, we got some camp supplies. And a burlap sack. Okay, holding Alt. Nothing else over here at this location. And now you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. So, there's nowhere to jump to over here. This is listed as not enough space. The target's too far to get over here. Even if you make your way all the way out here to the end, that's as far as you can go. You're listed as too high. So, oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow, what do you know? I had no idea that space was even there. In all of my playthroughs where I've had Astarion in, I've never found that place before. That's interesting. So, I guess disregard everything I said just a minute ago. You can jump out of there with Astarion, even with his really low strength. So, good to know. Good to know. Glad we found that together here. I am certainly not above admitting when I have missed something or when I've gotten something wrong. So, glad we're able to find it. So now we're going to head up here to this side, and to do this we're going to have to jump up. Okay, holding Alt, there's nothing available, but you can scroll over it and see that there's some stuff littered on the ground. We can search the shelf, but I don't think I've ever found anything in there worthwhile. Nothing else over here going to be useful. We can come along this way. We do have a wooden trunk over here on this side. We're going to keep the area of ice and the area of lightning for Astarion himself. Nothing there. We do have a heavy crossbow that's going to encumber him, but we'll move it off of him as soon as we can. Burlap sacks. And another wooden barrel. Nothing in it. Now we'll take that heavy crossbow and we'll move it over here.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
Okay. So we finished up here. We're going to jump down. And we can go quickly explore this area here. This is the back way into this area, which you can reach through that area that we talked about earlier. What you will want to do while we're down here is have guidance active. Okay, we have some stuff that we can search down here. We also have some fire wine barrels and stuff like that down here, so be careful what you're what you're clicking on and what you're pointing at, because you don't want to shoot those.
Nothing.
Okay, so holding Alt, all we have is the backpack there, so we can move down a little bit farther, check this wooden barrel, nothing. Now you can start to see what's here. So you want to move slowly.
Oh dear.
Okay, and we've got another tripwire here. Not a problem for us. Okay, and then if you move down a little bit farther,
Be careful.
there's another one.
There are traps about.
Again, not a problem for us. Wow, this is going to be a really high number. 33. Wow. For a level 4 character, getting a 33 total roll is impressive. So what those do is it allows this boulder to come falling down here and rolling all the way down here and causing significant damage to your party, while at the same time lighting all of this firewine stuff on fire. And yeah, it's a bad day. Okay. So we picked up an inspiration. Okay, just by surviving the bandit's rolling boulder trap. Okay. So another quick way to pick up an inspiration, which we needed because we utilized one when we failed that last check up there. And again, just like we were talking about, this is this outside area, which we mentioned earlier. So we're not going to head out this way. We're just going to open that up so we can get that inspiration, and we're going to head back into the cave, and we're going to head out the front way here. We're actually going to meet with everybody back up, and we're going to talk to Rugen and Ollie.
Well, lad, it's our lucky day after all.
I'll be glad when we're out of this bloody cave.
The chest's yours. I've got nothing else for you, and I don't want trouble.
Okay. Easy enough, just making sure that there were no more dialogues in there.
My feet can carry me.
Alright, so now we can head out. We've already looted all of the gnolls, so that's not a problem for us. And see, this is that drop down area, or that had the locked trunk in it. You can see it from this location here. See, there's where the locked trunk was, but there's no way to get over to it from here. There's a well bucket here, which I've never seen any use for. It's interesting that it's there, but again, it's a grabbable item. It's not an interact with item, so I've never seen a use for it. But yeah, there's no other way to get in from this side except from Misty Step. You can Misty Step over there from here, but just another way into that area. So. Okay, so we're just going to take our time here, and we're going to actually head down and open up this area of the map over here. While we're here, we can pick up this spear. Can search the dead gnoll, but nothing on it. Okay. Again, just opening up the unexplored areas of the map. This is the back entrance to that cave that we were just at. Okay, so this is where the boulder is and that sort of stuff. So you can see it, and it gets you the back way into that encounter.
That symbol in the blood. What does it mean?
Okay, he's talking about this. That's what was highlighted. Okay, there are some camp supplies here. Again, we're just opening up the map at this point. So once you come down here to this cave area, there is another way to come up this way and around. So, okay, and we're gonna head up this way. And we're gonna take our time walking through here. Holding Alt, nothing to see. There is some more camp supplies here, it looks like. Yep. Okay. You can see on our map, you can see Waukeen's Rest over here. That's where we're going to be heading. This is the way that we just were. Okay. So, we're going to, now that we've unlocked everything that's up here, we've opened up the map all the way around. We're going to head back down this way and head over to Waukeen's Rest. And I am going to save this when we get up to the front of Waukeen's Rest. We are going to go in the main door here. We've already found this back door where we had the little loot stash here over in the corner. But we are going to go in the front way. And before we do that, we are definitely going to save. Because like I say, this area is, in my opinion, the most bugged area in early access. It's just, it's got a horrific a horrific set of problems with it that most of us were hoping would have been fixed with patch 8. Because it's not something new. But we'll see if it happens with patch 9. Okay, and you can see we've got okay, so those 3 perceptions failed, so let's see if
My fortune.
guidance on will can perceive it. And it didn't. The perception is really just about this. It's about the dragon claw marks on the face of this cliff here.
See there? Something tore through that rock like paper.
Oh, the perception was actually, I think right here there's a dirt mound.
Perhaps it's some
That's my
artist
fault.
trying to make a statement.
I think that's what it is. So, one more dirt mound missed. Okay, so here we are definitely going to save. You're going to get an autosave here as well, I believe. But, like I say, we want to save before we go in here. We do have another shovel over here, so if you still need one. Okay. And we'll work ourselves into the main area of Waukeen's Rest here. Okay. So, what you want to do with Waukeen's Rest, and I'm actually going to overwrite that save right here, is you don't want to waste your time moving around in here at the start of this. This whole thing's on fire. Once you get to a certain point, things can start counting down against you as far as that fire spreading and ending quests, because people end up dying because of it. So it's really kind of stupid. So you don't want to dally around in here. You want to complete the main quest in this area here as quickly as you can before moving on to the other things. So to do that, I'm going to break the party here. I'm going to take my Barbarian with me. You want to have a strength character with you as you go through this, but just going to You can see we have a character we can speak with the dead on, but I'm going to move straight down here and talk to
Someone needs help.
the Flaming Fist at the door.
The Grand Duke could be inside. Don't just stand there. Push.
Okay, so like I say, you needed a strength character. So I'm going to push against the door.
Inside. Hurry. We don't have much time.
Okay, then you want to follow them in.
When we would be ready.
And you get a quest update for Rescue the Grand Duke. And again, you just want to follow them through. And don't do anything else while you're here. Just follow up with them.
Door. Opening it could spell trouble.
Okay, so you need to clear a path here. Okay, and to do that, you need to get rid of this broken door. So to do that, you just attack the door. Okay?
Come. I'm afraid proper thanks must wait.
Okay, and now you can follow them back out. If you left your characters out in the courtyard, then as soon as the counselor gets down here to the bottom, it will trigger a cutscene. Because the counselor will be close to your characters who are still out there. But if they're not in the courtyard, which mine are not, then as soon as you get out here, it will trigger that same cutscene.
Fresh air. At last. Your boldness is a blessing. I'm in your debt.
Counselor, are you all right?
Takes more than mere fire to break me, Yuva. Now listen close, Fist. Duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Alder Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Gauntlet, report to the man and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke.
On your command, Counselor.
The rest of you, count the dead.
Great God, help.
Take word of their sacrifice to this city. And you,
Just care when we
I must ask again for your aid.
certainty when we would have
Please, rescue Ravengard from his drow captors. The council will reward you for your effort. May I trust you'll see it through?
Great God, help. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond.
A champion indeed. He's the invisible force holding Baldur's Gate together. Without him, the city faces collapse. In fact, I fear that may have been the intention of those who abducted him.
Great God, help.
By the time aid arrives, it might be too late. You've the heart of a dragon and the will of a hero.
Certainty when we would have doubt.
Tell me I can count
So
on
it
you.
is spoken, and so is it done.
Thank you. And should your courage falter, remember the Duke's generosity. Go. You should pick up the Drow trail with ease. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Fist, to work.
Okay. So, you got an inspiration here, and we'll look at that here in a second. But, oh, we got 2 inspirations.
I can't move. Someone help!
Okay, we'll wait for those to disappear. Now here you get a reward. So you get a reward right off the bat before you even get into doing the quest itself. So, taking fire damage. Great. Please tell me that the counselor's not going to die by walking away through the fire.
Great God, help.
That's what this game. We'll go check on it here in a minute. You get to pick one of these 3 weapons, and only one of them.
So it is spoken,
So, we learned earlier about lightning charges, and how important they can be to
peace in this plane and beyond.
my Barbarian in dealing with the
We would be reckless.
all-or-nothing approach I've taken with Great Weapon Master, getting lightning charges helps to offset that. So, right now, the only way that we can get lightning charges is by dashing when we're in combat, because of the boots that we have. And that's a great thing. That's certainly not to be minimized. But if we don't want to use a bonus action or an action to dash, we don't have any other way to get lightning charges. So these 3 weapons give you an ability to gain lightning charges. So the Trident, when the wielder deals damage using this weapon, they gain 2 lightning charges. Okay? The Trident is a 1d6 weapon. That's interesting. It's got 1d6. Yeah, it's 1d6, but the die picture is for an 8. Interesting. But the Trident is a 1d6 weapon. It doesn't even come close to comparing to the Everburn blade that I utilize, and even so, it's not a heavy weapon. It's not a great type weapon, so I'm not going to get the benefits of wielding it other than to get the lightning charges. So utilizing this probably isn't the best way for me to get lightning charges for use. So I've never picked the Trident in any of my playthroughs. It really comes down between these two, the Jolt Shooter and the Spell Sparkler. The Spell Sparkler is very interesting, and that again, what I said about lightning damages, or about lightning damage, or lightning charges, you deal lightning damage with it when you have lightning charges, and that lightning damage applies to all damage that you do. So for instance, here, when the wielder deals damage with a spell or a cantrip, they gain 2 lightning charges. So if you deal damage with Eldritch Blast or with Firebolt or something like that you have as a cantrip, you're going to gain lightning charges. So you don't have to use this staff to actually physically hit somebody with it. And then as soon as you've got those lightning charges, you're going to be dealing 1 additional lightning damage on any spell you cast. But what's important is that it deals, for things like Magic Missile and Scorching Ray, it deals 1 additional lightning damage on every projectile. So a level 1 Magic Missile is going to be doing 3 additional damage to a single target if you cast all 3 projectiles. But it's also going to do 25% additional damage on top of what a Magic Missile projectile by itself can do, because they're 1d4. So this is a huge damage increase to what might be relatively minor spells, as long as you have lightning charges. So the Spell Sparkler is a great thing for your magic users to have, to increase their damage when they're utilizing other spells or cantrips. And after you use the spell or the cantrip, you gain 2, but when you have 5, the next time that you deal damage, you're going to do a full 1d8 lightning damage. So it can really help increase the damage that your spellcasters do. In this playthrough, I've got Scorching Ray, don't have Magic Missile on Will, and while the cantrip for Eldritch Blast would be causing me to gain lightning charges quite a bit, I don't know as if I want to utilize that. I think what I want to try and utilize is having an additional way to gain lightning charges for my Barbarian other than dashing. So, especially if I'm at a distance and I'm going to have to do ranged attacks anyway to maintain my frenzy, this is going to possibly allow me to do that damage while at the same time gaining lightning charges to help continue my bonus to hit, to offset my Great Weapon Master feat. So it's normally a toss-up between these two. In this case, I think I am going to take the Jolt Shooter here. It's not a great weapon compared to heavy crossbows and things like that, which are 1d10. I wish it was a 1d10 weapon, but it's not. So as a ranged weapon, purely in and of itself, it's not the greatest. So you're going to be sacrificing damage while using the Jolt Shooter in favor of getting lightning charges. But when I'm doing ranged damage with my Barbarian, I'm really not thinking much about the damage. I'm thinking about it just to keep my Frenzy alive. Might as well keep getting lightning charges while I'm doing. So that's, for this playthrough, that's what I'm going to choose. But in my mind, it really comes down to these two. As to how you want to do it. And I've used the Spell Sparkler with great effect on Gale. With using level 2 magic missiles and Scorching Rays. So, can be very, very useful for spellcasters in your party. Okay. So, here where I'm at, this light crossbow +1 can now go here, and the Jolt Shooter can go in my range spot. Okay, so just to clear up a couple of things that we did pick up. Okay, remember we picked up Reason's Grasp. So Reason's Grasp is a very interesting item for a Barbarian. It is specifically for a Barbarian. It is one of the first things that you're going to encounter that is specifically for the Barbarian. And what it does is whenever you choose on your own to end your rage, you're going to gain 15 temporary hit points. Now, right now, if you look at the Fleet Fingers, which is what my Barbarian's wearing right now, after I dash, I can jump without using a bonus action, which is great. It helps me maneuver the battlefield faster, and get to where I need to get to bring that hefty damage into the fight. However, there are times when your frenzy is going to end. You're going to be in a position where you can't reach anybody to do any damage, and your rage is just going to end. You can choose to end your rage and gain those 15 temporary hit points. You can also utilize it where you come down to the end of a fight and there's one remaining character, and you can end your rage and gain those 15 temporary hit points, knowing that you're going to be killing that last enemy, and you've got those, free 15 hit points. So we'll explore this a little bit, and kind of show how they work and what they do. So, but for now, we're going to keep the Fleet Fingers on Jorval, because, like I say, we are going to be utilizing those, and you'll see what I'm talking about here as we go. So, how did I get the Salame on Shadowheart? How did that happen? Did I do that? I mean, I know I wanted to utilize Salame as a melee weapon at some point, but I don't think I did that intentionally. I'm going to send those to the camp. We talked about the Shattered Flail, and I'm going to equip that for now. It is a mace. It's a simple weapon that Shadowheart is proficient with, so I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. We do have some more camp supplies here that we can get rid of and send away, and I think
Spoken.
that's it.
Was it done?
Okay. So now that we've completed the main quest portion here of Waukeen's Rest, everything else that's happening in here is kind of on hold, so to speak. The stuff that's happening in here is not going to progress any farther. More things aren't going to be burning to the ground or anything like that. So we have some time to do some exploration. We're not going to go too crazy here, but like I say, we do have some time. So let's do some searching while we're here. Okay, we do have some goblin raiders that we can talk to here.
Great
Let's go ahead and recast Speak with the Dead.
this plane and beyond. Care when we would be
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Hunter! Come. Temple. Close. Raiding. Burning. Killing. Kidnap. The Duke. For the Absolute. Take prisoners to Moonrise.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so we learned some valuable information there about why this raid took place and also where this raid came from. It came from the Goblin Camp, and that gives us some very interesting information about the Absolute and what that is. So let's search the Drow Raider here first, and we have some Drow leather armor and a ring.
Strange place to find it.
So now let's recast Speak with the Dead here.
In nocte concilium.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
From Shamus. Before the Absolute. Male. Archer. Roof. Should've seen.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
So it is spoken, and so is it done.
Okay, so we did pick up some faded Drow leather armor. So for light armor, with a 12 armor class, that's really quite nice. Normal leather armor is, or normal light armor is an 11 armor class. So for light armor users, so if you didn't take the feat to give Astarian medium armor proficiency, the faded Drow leather armor would be a good choice for him to utilize. It also, honestly, it looks pretty cool. And this is the faded version of it. You will see possibly a full version of it a bit farther through on the playthrough. But here's normal leather armor. Padded armor is the same with an 11 armor class compared to a 12. So this gives you some of the best non-enchanted light armor in the game, and it compares with any of the light armors that are +1, because that brings them up to this same 12 armor class. So it's really good stuff. We just don't have a case for a utilization for it right now because of the scale mail +1. Now, Will, again, looking at Will, his proficiency is only with light armor, and right now his armor class is based on a 10 base. He's got +3 from mage armor and +1 from dexterity, so he's got a +4 total bonus right now with a 10 base armor class. So if you take that light armor and you swap it out, his mage armor goes away because you can't cast mage armor on when you're wearing armor. So his armor class drops to 13 utilizing this, because he's got 12 from the armor and +1 from dexterity. So I think, well, it's not a think. Right now, Will having mage armor is still better for his armor class than wearing any light armor that he has access to currently. So speaking of that, we are going to get his mage armor back. Okay, because he can cast that simply as an action anytime he wants. And now we can explore around a little bit. Okay. So we can look around in here. And we do have some crates that we can search. Okay, nothing much. Holding Alt, just looking around. This is the back door into this area that we saw earlier, that had the crevice over here that we looked at. Okay. And now you can look around the back of this, and you can see that there is, looks like there's a camp supply up here. And we can go pick this up. There is another waypoint here for Waukeen's Rest, which is useful to unlock. So we're gonna pick these camp supplies. And it kind of gives you another overall view of stuff, and you see that we have another body in here that we can cast Speak with the Dead on while we're there. And we are going to want to do that. That body is part of another quest. But for now, let's just go in and kind of do some more exploration here on the ground area.
He of the unsleeping eyes, grant me the might to carry this burden. Grant me the faith to face darkness without fear. A massacre. Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot. Please, just leave me be.
Okay. So we do have some more searching that we can do. Another dead drow. And now, holding Alt, you can see that we have a flaming fist over here. And I'm going to toggle the group just so that they don't go wandering around in the flames. We're going to cast Speak with the Dead on this flaming fist.
Cum mortuus in lingua mortua.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Gauntlet. Maryland. flaming fist.
The corpse remains silent. She doesn't move.
Baldur's Gate. Dead or dying.
Okay. So, we learned a little bit there, but not a whole lot, but we can search this mercenary. It's not marked as steel. Okay. Then we do have another dead goblin raider over here in the flames. We can reach... I don't think you can reach this area from outside. No, you can't. So we have a way to deal with this, but you don't really need to. Again, I've broken the group here, so I'm going to continue searching, and we'll go back into that area. Broken loot. Okay. We can come over here and we can just jump across this area without much of a problem. Okay, nothing there. We have another raider over here. Okay, and now we can do some searching in here. I can't remember if this... Okay. So, yeah, we got some stuff that we can search through back in here. Holding Alt, looking around. Okay. So, this is the note that we just picked up. Okay, so it looks like there was a beloved ranger statue that was stolen. Oh, this is interesting. I do not know if this was in previous playthroughs or not. That's interesting. Okay. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to let you, taking a break from the game for a second for a game note. I'm not going to spoil this. I'm going to let you go, if you haven't seen it already, go watch the trailer that was released by Larian Studios just recently about the game. And you're going to understand what this beloved ranger statue is all about. I'm going to give you a hint. If you read this this paragraph here, the bold adventurer depicted as no real person, living or dead, but a metaphor for the city itself, standing solid and stern upon his foundations, gazing outward but still clutching tight to his heart the warmth of hope, represented here as a small and furry hamster. All I'm going to say is boo. Boo. Those of you who know what I'm talking about know what it is. Those of you who don't, feel free to go watch the trailer, and you will be introduced to one of the most beloved characters of the Baldur's Gate franchise. So again, I don't know if that was in previous walkthroughs, or if that was something that was added in patch 8. I haven't seen it before, but I very well could have just missed it while I was doing previous playthroughs. But it might have been something that was added at a later time as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into this area here. And I've still got my party broken. for now. We can search the cupboard here. We can hold Alt and look around. We've got a corpse that we can search here. Some raiders. Just giving us more gold. Another corpse and a book. And we can read this book. Okay. Always interesting and funny stuff. We're gonna move some of these heavy crossbows over to Shadowheart. They're the main encumbering item that we're carrying. Nope, that greatsword needs to stay over here. We'll move this armor over here as well. That'll free up some carrying capacity here. Okay. And now, holding Alt again, we'll just look around. Some candles. Some other stuff. There is a book down here that we can pick up. Okay, and we're going to head up top. Now, here again, I'm going to save. And we'll do some searching here first, and then we will get on to one of the single buggiest areas in the entire game. So, and some of you have picked up on it already. We have somebody that's yelling at us. They've been yelling at us for a while to come rescue them. And that's what we're going to do.
In lingua mortua.
But we're going to cast Speak with the Dead on Merilith here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Merilith, farmer. From Eldergard, traveling, sister's wedding. Finding husband Benrin inside. Door locked. Trapped. Fire. Inside. Room. Top floor. Dowry for sister. In barn.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so you learned about Merilith there. You can search her and pick up some gold and camp supplies. But Merilith's real function here is to introduce you to another quest. And we don't have it yet. We did pick up the Rescue the Grand Duke quest. Moonrise Towers. That's where the Duke was taken. But we don't have any other quests that are active right now. But you did pick up some information from Merilith about Benrin being inside here on the top floor and being behind a trapped door with fire. And when you look, here's Benrin. Okay, his status is pinned. He's pinned to the floor inside this room. And there are multiple ways into this room. There's a door here with an open archway leading between these two rooms. There's a broken door here, and both of those can be accessed from this walkway, which we came up when we walked through here to rescue the counselor. Okay, so these two doors are available to you, coming up the way that we did. However, we also have another broken door here. Now, Merilith mentioned that they were trapped with fire, and what that means is that right now we have a fire burning in here. Also, look, we have a wooden chest here. We have a gilded chest back here in the corner. And we have some books and some camp supplies and some other stuff to search. What happens here is that anytime you break one of these 3 doors, you are going to start a timer. And that timer is for the fire beginning to spread. Once, just like a normal fire, when you let air into a room that's on fire, if the fire's burned out all the air in it, as soon as you open it up and let air in, that fire's going to flash up and start spreading again. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to start spreading from this location here, and it's going to start making its way into here, and it will burn Benren alive. Now, I think the game intends for you to come in through one of these 2 doors and either put out the fire or heal Benren and put some sort of fire resistance on him or something like that. Unfortunately, this section is just so bugged that sometimes he won't even get up. You can go through the cutscene talking to him, and he'll just stay there and lie on the ground and get killed. So, and sometime, and what'll happen also is that when you go in and you talk to him, the fire's going to be spreading the entire time that you're talking to him. And it's dialogues that you can't skip because you have to unpin him from underneath this beam. You need a strength character or a dex character to be able to do that. And it's just all the time that you're doing that, this fire is spreading throughout this room. And again, we'll trap you in here. It can get you killed. Now, there are various different things you can do. We have on Will, and we're going to equip it. We have the Rain Dancer, which allows you to cast the spell Create Water. And I do have another short rest, so I am going to take that short rest to be able to utilize it. But from where we are right now, we shouldn't even have to do that. And the reason for it is because there's a fairly reliable way of doing this quest, where even as this room starts to catch on fire, you're going to lose out on items that are in here as they get burned up. But Benren's not going to die. He's going to stay on the ground in there, but he's not going to take fire damage. And then when you go back and you talk to Merilith, it's going to mysteriously transport him over here, and he's going to realize that Merilith is dead and the quest is going to complete. So that's the reliable way that I found of being able to, well, fairly reliable way I've found of being able to do it. But we'll kind of take a look at this. I am going to bring Will up to the main entrance here, because I do want to look at something. Then let's just quickly get him up here. And over here. Now what I want to see is if I can Misty Step into this room. Okay, I don't know. It's showing that I can, but I don't know if I actually can do this. And if I Misty Step into this room, it's my last spell slot, so I need to recharge it anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this. I've never tried this on a playthrough, and again, I don't want to bug this entire thing out. So I'm going to see if I can Misty Step in here or not. Okay. So see, as soon as you Misty Step in here, the flames start going. And you can see how they start spreading. So even without breaking the doors, getting into this room is going to break it. It's going to start this, and you can see Benrin is now on fire, taking damage. So you can see what happens here. So I'm obviously not going to save this. I was trying to see if Misty Step was going to work, and it does, but it doesn't prevent the fire from spreading. And that was the main point that I was trying to look at and see, was if you could Misty Step into that room, not have the fire start spreading, and go through the encounter that way. But you can't. Just walking into that room triggers the trap, and means that you're not going to be able to do anything in that room. So we can leave Will where he is, because I'm going to trigger all of this with my Barbarian. And to do that, I'm going to move out of the front of the door. You don't want to be in front of the door because the doors are trapped. So once you break the door, it's going to let loose a blast, which damages you and knocks you back. So if you're standing out here and you do it, it will knock you off onto the ground floor. And then all the time when you're trying to walk your way back up here, the fire is again spreading throughout this room and killing Benrin. So whenever you attack these doors to open them up, either do it with a ranged attack or stand off to the side so it doesn't hurt you. So what I am going to do here is, now that we're at this point, I'm going to just overwrite that last save that I made with Will. And we'll go ahead and see how much this thing breaks, if it breaks at all. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. Okay, so it broke the door. Let's go talk to Benrin. Okay, so we got advantage on our strength check. Okay, we would have passed both of them. And you can see the fire spreading in the background. You can see the cutscene changing. Okay. And now you can see that Benrin is... well, he's still burning. Okay. So now you can see what I mean by this thing being completely bugged. So, yeah, very interesting. Okay, so what we are going to do is take our Barbarian quickly out of this door down here. I'm not going to talk to Merilith yet. I want to get back into the area where Will is. And I want to do it as quickly as I can. Okay. I'm going to stand beside this door. And I'm going to open this one. Okay. I'm going to go to my inventory. I'm going to take a potion of fire resistance. Okay. I'm going to move to here. And I'm going to jump into this room. And you can jump over to this location. Okay, so maybe we can move a bit farther in here. No, we can't. Let's just jump over here. Okay. We can pick up the book. And we're going to jump over here to the chest. Now the chest is locked. Okay, so we want to pick it up. Now that's going to encumber us. That's fine. But now we want to... walk out.
These boots have seen everything.
We're taking only half damage from the flames. Okay, but now the flames are done. Alright? And you want to do this as quickly as you can. Sometimes the flames back here are going to bug out anyway, but you can see it. The flames are... it looks like they're kind of spreading back this way. So you have a time limit before this rug is going to be completely on fire. The chest is going to start burning, and then the items will spill out. They'll start taking fire damage, and they'll disappear. So sometimes these flames can get a little bad as far as you know, what's going on with them and burning everything up in this room. So for now, what you can do though is you can take that chest and you can just drop it out here. Now I'm no longer encumbered. I still have resistance to fire damage. So I'm going to move back in here. And I'm going to jump back in here. Now I'm going to... okay, so the chest, the trunk, got destroyed. Okay. And with the potion of fire resistance, you're just not taking much damage from the flames. Okay.
Where am I needed?
So I'm going to bring Will all the way down and out, or I'm actually just going to bring him over here, and I'm going to group these two up.
I've got a long road ahead.
Okay, and now I can take them out.
Certainty when we would have doubt. So it is spoken, and so is it done.
And then when I get out here, I'm going to split the... actually, I can put all the group back together again. And now I'm going to go back up and talk to Marileth. And when I do this, or when I look at Marileth, he should teleport back here. Oh, that might have been what was different about this playthrough. Okay, he might be stuck in here. Let me see if I can talk to him again.
Miri.
Yeah.
No. Gods, no, no, no. You should have stayed. You should have been with me. I was in our room. We had a fight. If I just kept my mouth shut about that bloody dowry, she'd still be here. I'm sorry, Miri. I'm so sorry. Please, just go. I need a moment with her.
Okay. So we're actually going to go recover that dowry. So he is bugged. What's supposed to happen is he's supposed to follow you out of the room. And you're supposed to be approaching this from this side. And then when you get him out of here, you're supposed to lead him back in this way. And once he sees Marileth, then the quest will get to that point where we are right now. Like I say, this thing is just so completely bugged out that this is the only way to really do it. So, but what you did hear about was the dowry. And we learned from talking to Marilith's dead body that the dowry is in the barn. So what we're going to do is move everybody back here. And the reason I want everybody is because I'm going to have to make a perception check. And I want to try and do this first here with Astarion and see if he can pass the check. Okay, in the haystack. Okay, so he was able to perceive it. Don't click on the haystack without having somebody with guidance on to improve your chances of finding this chest. If you don't find the chest, or if you don't perceive the chest here, you're going to have an issue with how you can't complete the quest in a certain way. Okay? We're going to open it up. There's a dowry ring here. And we're going to send that Jorval. And we're going to leave this area for now. And we can see our journal here, which was rescue the trapped man. We spoke with Benrin. He got out safely because it's just so bugged. We found a dead woman who matched Mary's description. Benrin is faced with the body of his dead wife, so he has to be able to see her for this thing to complete. And in the previous patches, it was even once you found Miri and let him know where Miri was, he wouldn't walk up there, so the quest wouldn't complete. And now it's just, he doesn't want to leave the room. So it doesn't matter what patch it is, the thing is just broken. But we did find the dowry, and now we're going to return to Benrin here and give this back. For now, I can leave Astarion in here. I don't need him to be able to complete this. And now I'm going to go back up and talk to Benrin one last time. And we should be able to complete the rescue the trapped man quest. Okay, you can see where he's sitting at. He's supposed to be sitting next to Marilith's body right now. That's this room behind me. That's what all the scenery is from that room where Marilith's body is, but he's just not.
I know this doesn't change anything, but it helps. Thank you. I need some time alone with her to say goodbye.
Okay, so that completes the rescue the trapped man quest. Okay, and like I say, the single most bugged quest in this game right now. But that's so from what I've seen, a fairly reliable way to complete it. Okay. So
teachers care when we would be reckless.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to group.
So it is spoken, and so is it done.
Everybody back up. Astarion is over here, and we can. He actually. That's interesting. He got to be part of the group again, even though he was way over there. I'll just bring him over anyway. Okay. And now we've searched here. We haven't gone over here, and I've never tried to.
Should mind my step.
And again, I think I'm going to break this just so people aren't walking through. I've never tried to do things this way from this side. Okay. So I don't know if I can attack this or not. Let's see what happens. It's hopefully not flammable. Okay, so we can attack it. Okay. So we can get in this way. I normally don't come in this way. Normally what I do is come in from the top and then move that out of the way from inside here. But now we have access to this area from the bottom. So we do have a letter here. Okay, so his wife Rhea is left him a letter. We have a bunch of crates in here that we can search. I don't know as if any of them have anything, but again, don't take that for granted. Like I've said before, the full version may be different. Back in here, we've got some more crates that we can search. More camp supplies. Okay, I think one of those actually went into my inventory and got added to the wares. So we'll go look at that here in a second too. Okay, so a bunch of camp supplies. Always useful for us. And we do have to be careful because we have fire surfaces down here. Okay. Holding alt, looking around. Okay. So we have some wooden barrels. Again, a whole lot of camp supplies, which are just very useful in a Barbarian playthrough. Okay. So we've looted all that. I don't think... Yeah, you can't walk over here. You can jump through this area. So if you come down to this area, you can jump up through here to this area. I just don't need to. I came in from the bottom through the barrel. Okay, holding alt, looking around. There's another place over here we can jump, but I don't think there's anything back there we need. Okay. And now, you can jump with a high enough strength. You can jump up here. So you can see my Barbarian can jump up here and approach this area from down below. I'm not going to. I'm going to head back out the way we came in. And I do want to check my inventory. Yes, because I did pick up those, or that pair, and I do want to send that to camp. I have some other camp supplies here I can also send. So what I also want to do is transfer some of these items over here that I'm not going to be using. Okay. I think her carry weight is 72.
Allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be
Okay.
reckless.
So that gets us to a good point where I've maximized his carry weight. There's a bunch of stuff in here. To search, there's a lot of camp supplies and that sort of stuff. So I am going to walk around in here and kind of look around and be very careful when I am searching. Because if you step into a wrong spot... See, the fire is now spreading. Okay, so...
Maybe I need more pockets.
Right? You can see the more time you spend in here, the more that fire is going to spread. Okay, so what I want to do is go back over here into the kitchen area. And there are camp supplies all over this place. And a bunch of searchables as well. Most of these don't have anything, but you can see all of the camp supplies that are just everywhere. And these are all just, you have to pick them up. You can't send them to camp right off the bat. So I wanted to have the carry weight to be able to just pick them up and keep moving around throughout this kitchen area here. Okay? Now we do have a water barrel, and that water barrel is going to do what you would expect it to do, and that it's going to put out fire. So if we throw this water barrel over to here, you see it puts out the fires. And you can pick up some other items back here. Trying to get a hold of the pig's head, chickens, pork loins. Then coming around to this side, we have another water barrel, which again, you can look around and see there's nothing really worthwhile here that we need to use that barrel to put out the flames on. But we can search this crate. Nothing. Burlap sacks, and we should be able to search these without getting burned. And now we have some other camp supplies here. Jug, nothing too worthwhile here. And now we come down to this last table over here. We have a cleaver that we can pick up, and then we have some more camp supplies. Okay, we have a pouch that we can search. Nothing. Bucket of fish. And we have a whole lot of crates, wicker baskets, all that sort of stuff in here. I'm just going to pick it all up. Just take it all for now. Okay. There are some more camp supplies up here. Alright. So we do have the last set, I think, is here. So we'll pick all these up. And I think that's our last set of camp supplies here. Okay. So now we can just go into our inventory and send all of this to camp. And you can see the massive amount of camp supplies that we picked up in here. So it's looks like the fire is spreading behind me. So be careful. See? The fire is spreading. And this is what I meant by kind of starting a timer, so to speak. So I'm no longer encumbered. Okay, so in here we do have some more camp supplies that we can loot. It's just really hard to see. And it's really hard to tell where you're going and what's on fire because of the overlay of the floor above you. So you can kind of zoom in and look around. We're going to jump over here. Okay, so things are starting to get a little bit sporty. So we just want to run out of here, because the whole thing is catching on fire. Okay. And that's what I mean by walking into these different areas. It tends to start a timer where everything is just going to get burnt to a crisp. Okay, there's nothing else from what I remember. There's no other chests or anything like that you're going to miss out on down here on the bottom floor. But like I say, just be prepared for the fact that exploring around in there can get you a lot of camp supplies, but be careful what you're doing and don't get too focused on just looking for the stuff that you can loot, because the fire will sneak up on you and you will start taking damage from it. And if, like I say, the fire resistant, the potion of fire resistance is a really big help. Or if you do forget about it and then you hear the sound cue of you start taking damage, then you can kind of focus on where you're at and immediately exit the area. So just go ahead and transfer all of these to our camp. I wish there was a way to shift click and do this with multiple ones, but there isn't that I have found. I think that's an oversight on Larian's part. So we kind of have to do it manually one at a time, so to speak. I think everybody else's inventory, there's no camp supplies. No. So we should be good. Okay. And that ends the Waukeen's Rest Inn area of the map. But again, we want to go back over here where we were. And we want to toggle the group and move everybody one at a time back into this area. And the camera can get a little tricky, but you want to get everybody to jump over the flames.
Best foot forward.
Okay. And now we're all in here, and we can continue searching in this area. So we have a dead body here. Dead halfling that has a sweet key. Okay, so we can pick that up.
With haste.
Now we can continue searching this area back here around the back. Bunch of barrels with a bunch of camp supplies. And again, now you're kind of grasping what I said a couple of live streams ago, that even with a barbarian, where you're going to be wanting to rest, take long rests quite a bit more often, because of needing to get your rage or your frenzy back,
That might be worth a
there's more than enough camp supplies to be able to do that, spread throughout this game. So don't be afraid to take long rests, because you're going to have plenty of supplies. We even find them in hidden crates. Awesome. Okay, search the last two barrels here. Okay. Now we're around this backside, and I don't believe that there's anywhere you can go outside of here. I think this is all outside the map. So, looking at our map of Waukeen's Rest, you can see that we've opened up everything except for this area here. This is the barn, or this is the barn right here that we were in. We still have this area over here, and that's where we're going to go next. Okay, we do want to make sure that that we've searched the barn, and the lighting in here appears to be a little messed up.
Careful.
Yeah, see, even our dark vision is not triggering in here. The gilded chest is what we already opened. This had the ring, the dowry ring. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything else in the barn here.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
So coming out here, you can see we have an ox, and there's a frightened ox inside. If you have Speak with Animals, this would be another opportunity for you to gather some more information here. But there is a dead goblin out front. And I can't remember who has animal handling, but I think it's Will.
The ox tenses, horns lowered in your direction.
Okay, so yes, it was Will's got a +2 to animal handling here. So you can just back away. You can defend yourself. You're going to get into a fight with an ox. Or you can try an animal handling check here. So we have access to guidance. We have the animal handling proficiency on a DC of 10. So we need to roll at least a 7 to guarantee this. But we could roll as low as a 4. Didn't need it either way.
His hide twitches, every muscle primed to bolt. He's terrified.
Okay, so now we have a persuasion check that we can make here. Or intimidation. So either of these, I'm going to get I've got a +2 from intimidation for him. So might as well go this route. Still a DC of 10. Not a problem. And we chose intimidation because he had the +2 from intimidation proficiency.
To relax.
Okay. So if you have Speak with Animals, you can learn a little bit more. There's nothing.
The creature turns a piece of cud around its mouth, chewing contentedly.
Nothing really special about it. It just lets you know that that ox killed this goblin out here after he saw the goblin kill the other ox. So just an interesting, piece of story that goes along with it. But holding alt, I don't see anything else in here. And I don't think, at this point anyway, that there's anything else to be found in here. And we did already search the Goblin Raider, right? Yes. Okay.
2 steps at a time.
So we're going to group everybody back up and we can start searching these barrels out here. And now we're going to come over here to this shabby door. We can start searching these trunks.
Someone's moving around in there.
Okay, so you passed a perception check and realize that something or someone is moving around inside this area. Okay.
You spot a man crouching between the shelves, just as he spots you.
Bugger!
Okay, now because we talked to Rugen, we can recite this passphrase. If you haven't talked to him, then you can either do a dexterity check or detect thoughts, or you can just go through and attack it. But we've talked to Rugen, and we're going to repeat this passphrase.
Oh, Helm's Orps. I thought you were Flaming Fist. Well, down you go then. They'll be on us soon, so if you're looking to trade, you'd best be quick. Entrance is hidden behind the wardrobe. Here's the key.
Okay. So we received an engraved key, and again, the lighting is broken in here, it looks like. But there are a lot of searchable barrels and stuff like that in here. So, and again, with the lighting broke, it's going to be hard to see all of it. Okay, but nothing up here that we want.
What's in here?
Okay, just doing some searching of all of this stuff up here. You already know what all that's about and why I'm doing it. So, if you don't want to watch me do it, you can skip forward a few seconds, and that's a misclick.
Did you want something?
Okay, search this trunk back here. And I wish the lighting wasn't broken. Okay, but you can see that there's a hatch over here.
Breathe deep and move.
Okay. We have some more burlap sacks we can search and some more wooden crates. Nothing useful in any of them right now. An armillary sphere. Interesting.
Tyrell, in all its glory.
Okay. Now the rest of the way around here. Just some last final things. Search, and I'm just dragging my mouse around here in the dark. I'm looking for things that can be clicked on because the lighting's broke. Okay, but nothing much that you're going to find up here. So now we can head down the hatch. Okay, we find himself in a Zhentarim basement. Okay, so this is obviously a Zhentarim hideout here. And now we can do the same thing down here. We have a bunch of vases and crates and baskets and that sort of stuff that we can search down here. I would advise you, if you're tired of watching me search for things, that you do not skip this section. I know it gets a little monotonous watching me click on these things and sending items to camp and that sort of stuff, but there's a reason that I do this. It's not just to pick up an excess of camp supplies and that sort of stuff. I am a completionist at heart, so you're going to see me doing this. You would see me doing this anyway, but just occasionally, every once in a while, you stumble across something in what looks like a bunch of innocuous searching that can open other things up for you or can help you out in a big way. Okay? It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it can save you. So that's why I tend to do this. Is because there always is an off chance that you're going to find something to help you out. But besides, camp supplies are always cool. And there are a lot of them. Okay. So now I'm going to head out here into this area and see what we have to search out here. Okay, so we have some barrels, standard fare, holding alt, nothing on the ground. Got some damaged vases that we can look at. Okay, and then we've got some trunks and crates over here. More camp supplies. I think a few of these have gone into wares, but we'll deal with that later. Got some more vases over here. Okay, good. More camp supplies. Short, stubby legs. Getting up there on top to search all this stuff like I'm telling him to do. Okay. And we've got one last section around the corner over here. A blank canvas. Okay, and then searching around here. Again, holding alt. We've got an oil lamp up here. Not worth anything. And what do you know? Hidden in a random crate in the middle of nowhere is an engraved key. Okay, the outline of a flying dragon is carved into the key's handle, found in a cellar in Waukeen's Rest. The flying dragon is the Zhentarim sigil. You see here we've got a wardrobe that is locked. That wardrobe is no longer locked. Okay? So, if you hadn't gone through the Zhentarim stuff and you had just killed them and you fought your way through the entrance here, that key is what's going to open this up for you. And the only way you would know that is if you found it in that random chest. So, again, just illustrating a little bit of why I do what I do. I'm not saying it's not going to take additional time, but it can certainly open up different areas that you might not have access to on your own. Okay. So now we're going to move into the Zhentarim hideout here. All right, we got an autosave, which is good. You guys are probably really sick of seeing camp supplies. I don't blame you. I really don't blame you at this point. Okay, but now we've searched everything here. We've got a couple of trunks over here on this side. You can see up in front of us, we've got an iron gate.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean. Whoa, hold your arrows. This is Rugen's savior, I'll bet. He told us all about you. Come on in then. Any friend of Rugen's is a friend of the family.
Okay, so we've been accepted into the Zhentarim stronghold here. And that's going to give us access What just happened there?
They've got oil everywhere and bloody torches.
What just happened here? Okay. I don't know if this is a bug or not. What's happening down here is what's supposed to be happening with Ollie and Rugen. I'm going to reload that autosave. If it happens again, it happens again, and it's hopefully an intended piece of gameplay. I've never run into this before, and that's why I'm reloading this. Part of this playthrough, like I've told you before, I'm not reloading or saving and reloading to get more favorable outcomes in my live streams. I'm going to let things happen and play them as they are. However, this is something I've never seen before in one of my playthroughs, and I'm not entirely sure it's intended. So that's why I'm going to restart this. What I'm actually going to do also is take the iron flask, send it to my camp. And just walk out here and trigger this.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean. Whoa, hold your arrows. This is Rugen's savior, I'll bet. He told us all about you. Come on in then. Any friend of Rugen's is a friend of the family.
Okay, I'm going to hide. Okay, you can see that they are not hostile. I do have a detection cone, but that's to be expected. Rugen is getting beat on. Ollie's already dead. That's to be expected from previous playthroughs, and we'll go through a little bit more of that as we go through this. But okay, let's see if it triggers them into combat again. And I'm just going to break the group here real quick. Okay. Interesting. These are not marked as steel. Okay, let's see if moving up farther toward the gate triggers him. No, it doesn't.
On my way.
See if the whole party moving up triggers it. No. Okay. Alright, so one of two options. Either that was an unintended gameplay bug that we experienced, them going hostile, or they went hostile because I had the iron flask in my inventory. I've got that autosave there, and I'm going to leave it there, and maybe off stream I'll play it again and leave the iron flask in my inventory and see if it triggers it. In past playthroughs, I've had the iron flask in my inventory and they haven't gone hostile. They shouldn't go hostile at this point, but for some reason I'm not entirely sure about. They did. So I'm going to cast guidance on myself. I'm going to open up this iron gate. Okay, there's a perception check. I'm moving slowly down here. You don't have to. I'm just illustrating what this is about, because I think there's another one here. If you were trying to sneak your way in to this area, you would want to be avoiding these. I think there's one more down here at the bottom. Okay, and he failed his perception check on that.
At least things have stayed interesting.
So we don't have to find these, but like I say, if you were trying to sneak your way in here, you would definitely want to be finding these things, because they are traps. Okay, another perception failed.
Keeping pace.
I wonder what the next move is.
Now I'm going to bring everybody else down. Okay. I'm a little dumbfounded here. I wonder... There's no reason it should be. This is going to be our last time loading through this. If it happens again, it happens again. I would prefer not to do this. I would prefer not to get into a fight here. Because again, on none of my other playthroughs have I been in a fight. So I don't see why it would be my familiar that's causing this. I don't know as if I can...
Blade at the ready.
Dismiss my familiar. Pardon me, I haven't gone through this before trying to do this. I'm going to... just take Will down there and see if Will and his familiar trigger this. If they do, then I will know what it is.
That's far enough. Whoa, come on in then.
Okay, that's what it is. That's what triggers it. For some reason, the familiar being here, the conjured imp specifically, because I've had raven familiars and people like that, and familiars like that with me, for some reason the conjured imp is seen as an enemy here. And it's triggering them to go hostile. Which is very, very interesting. I've never run into that before. I'm actually going to do a quick search. And see... I don't think there's a way... I don't think you can dismiss a familiar. I think you have to kill it. And I don't know how that works. I think I'm going to have to use Will to kill it. And I'm not sure if it's going to enter into combat with me when I try and do this or not. We'll have to see. That's an interesting bug. But it is a bug. There's no doubt about it. It is a bug. So I'm going to... Okay.
Never a dull moment.
So let's just, instead of wasting time, let's just make sure that worked.
Step forward.
That's far enough. Whoa, hold your arrow. Come on in then.
Moving in.
Okay. I think that did it. I think it was the familiar which was causing the issue there. So I will go look through the bug reports and make sure that that gets submitted to Larian. Because, yeah, that is not supposed to happen. They are not supposed to be hostile to you. So it has nothing to do with the iron flask, which is in my inventory, or anything like that. It was simply the fact that Will had a conjured imp for a familiar. So, just be aware of that. And you know, I'm not going to bother doing this. Let's just come down here. If we find them, we find them. If we don't, we don't. They're not going to cause us any damage.
Never wanted the easy path.
Everybody's failing their perception checks. Yeah, and there's another one down here at the bottom. They are pretty hard to perceive. So, yeah, that's why you need guidance to be able to do it.
Did that artist really paint all those things? Says he did, yeah.
Okay, so we can talk to some people down here. So Garius first.
You don't want to keep Zarus waiting. Believe me.
Okay. So we do want to go up and talk to Zarus. And we're going to do that right off the bat here.
You're the one who recruited me, Rugen. You're the one who taught me rule number 1. Remember? No. Ollie didn't remember either. Did you, Ollie? You're dead the moment you steal from the Zhentarim. No matter who you are.
You recall an old Zhentarim proverb coined by their founder.
Oh, this is interesting. So, because we persuaded Ollie to give us the chest, this might be also, there might be a series of circumstances here that triggers some flags on our characters that didn't get applied to the imp. That means that they're going to turn hostile to us at a certain point. Because Rugen obviously has given up the fact that he gave us the chest, and she is now aware of the fact that we've stolen from them. Even though we didn't steal it, he gave it to us. So now we're in a situation where we have to kind of bargain our way out of this, or get our way out of this. We passed a history check, which means that we have this option here. This probably looks like it might be paying for their goodwill. We also have some berserker intimidation that we can do here. That gives us advantage on our rolls, but let's try this way first and see what happens.
You've read Manchun. Seems you know our ways better than poor Rugen here. There's not much money in retribution, true. Tell you what, you've already taken Rugen's cargo, so finish the job and I'll let you live. Deliver it to Baldur's Gate. Oh, and kill him.
Wow, interesting.
You were so close. So close to walking out of this alive.
Okay, interesting. So, I wasn't planning on doing things this way. That's an interesting choice that has been made here for us. So, wasn't expecting the playthrough to be like this, but I've made my bed, so now I'm going to lie in it, so to speak. And I'm going to dash to get up here. And we'll go from there. So, because I do want to get lightning charges. I didn't want to go into this so short on hit points. Because he does have a shortage of hit points here. Like I say, I was not expecting to have to fight here. Okay, so I do have lightning charges. So let's see what happens if I do a shove here. Okay, so let's move kind of to here. Okay, so I can shove her completely off. Okay, and shove Brim off. Now if you examine Brim, okay, he looks like... I'm looking for anybody else here, so I think I am going to go with actually getting rid of Brim here instead. So we'll see if we can knock Brim off of this thing. A 70% chance, and we couldn't do it. Okay, so that's going to be it for his turn, and now they're all going to get a turn before I do. Okay, so now for Astarion can dash. Thing is, I don't know if he's going to be able to get up there or not. Looks like he can. Okay. Alright, so let's see if we can get a shove off on... Okay. Interesting. Not sure why these shove animations are looking so weird. But it says I can't shove her here. Yeah, that's just interesting. Okay. So, the best I can do here is just to make my attack against Xeris here. Okay. Going to end his turn, and now Shadowheart doesn't have enough movement to make it up there. but she probably can cast Guiding Bolt here. %, 70% chance against Bren. Okay, that's good because that gives everybody else advantage. You can cast Healing Word.
Forever dauntless.
And then, or will, we're going to reapply Hex here. We want to Hex Strength so that resisting the push is going to be harder. Oh, wow. Just killed her straight up. Okay. So now we are definitely going to Frenzy here. Alright, so we have a couple of 21 hit points, and we have Bren with 16 left. So we're going to move over here. And we are probably going to do a reckless attack here. And see if we can get a kill. We did. Okay, so that means we will have a bonus weapon attack as a bonus action to be able to make. Okay. So for Astarion, we definitely want to move him out of the poison. We should have advantage to be able to make a sneak attack because of the Guiding Bolt. Okay. We want to use one of our bonus actions to dash here. We're going to dash over right next to him. We're going to make an offhand attack, and this should get us a kill. Oh. Well, it was a 50-50 chance, so I don't know as if she can see Rugen from down here. Yeah, can't see him. So we are so we're going to dash. See if we can move her up here. We can.
On the move.
Okay, she won't be able to do anything else with just her bonus action. But that'll be good enough. Now, Will, again, I don't think he can see Rugen from down here. Yeah, his path is interrupted. I wonder, though, we can use my bonus action to Misty Step up here.
Inveniam via.
Cast Eldritch Blast. That ends that. And then we're going to go all in here. And it's kind of... I'm interested to see if this works. Can we... No, we can't pick him up. So, I'm going to just do a Frenzied Strike here. And wow. Full on. Okay. So again, I didn't intend to kill them. But it is what it is. And you see what's happened here. And this is something I didn't actually expect. When you're frenzied, you can end your frenzy. Meaning that you have options over here to end your frenzy prematurely, and that's when you get the temporary hit points from Reason's Grasp. What I didn't expect was that if your frenzy ends naturally after combat ends and you're still frenzied, that you get those 15 hit points. And I think that's what has happened here. Because nothing else is going to be giving me those 15 hit points. I'm less than 50% of my hit points, so I'm going to have momentum at the start of combat, but the plus temporary hit points had to have come from Reason's Grasp. So that's interesting. You can see that those last until long rest. So that's really good. So I'm going to go ahead and take a short rest here because I need to get Warlock spells back and everything else. So now I've got my Warlock spell slots back. And I'm going to cast Speak with the Dead on Xeris.
The corpse seems willing to speak, but not to its
That's
killer.
right. Forgot about that. That's why it had a red outline around it. So I can take that amulet and give it to Astarion and have...
Used to this.
Oh yeah. Can't do it after you've already failed it. That's my mistake for not remembering that. Okay. So, I have a lot of searching that I can do up here. And there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be on them. Especially, okay, so we picked up an iron key. Especially on Brem over here. Okay, picked up the Zhentarim key. Send those camp supplies off and then take everything. And now we're to the point where... Oh, that was Astarion who was searching. No wonder. I was wondering why, why my Barbarian was so full up on carry weight. But it wasn't. It was because Astarion was the one who was searching in. So, when we go to Brem here, Brem's a traitor. Oh, it doesn't have. Okay, well that's a shame. So, this leads to an interesting discussion here. So, we'll go ahead and have it. Okay, so Brem is a trader, and Brem has access to some really good items. So, but it appears that the only way that we can get to Brem is either to make different choices in that conversation that we had with Xeris, or to not have Rugen give us the chest.
At the ready.
Okay? Because him giving us the chest set us on this path to have the conversation about fighting. If you steal the chest and Rugen doesn't know that it's you that stole it, then he's still being punished and still being beat up, and Ollie is still dead, but she doesn't know that you're the one that stole it. So everyone stays friendly down here. So It looks like there's a couple of different paths here, and there might have been... We had a lot of dialogue options with Xeris at the start. We picked one because we passed a history check, but that led us into an option where we had no choice but to say, I'm not going to kill Rugen. And that immediately made them hostile. So, possibly one of those other options, such as the intimidation option, would have not gotten us into combat, but just by taking, or having Rugen give us the chest, that may have put us on a path where you were always going to be hostile down here, no matter what. And maybe that's why, like I say, the imp was triggering some hostility, because it doesn't matter which path you choose down here. As soon as you interact with him, it's going to be a hostile encounter, just because he gave you the chest.
No more. You beautiful bastard. Thought my luck had finally run out.
Okay, so we'll go... Looks like Rugen is leaving. Yes, he's leaving. He has left the map. So we might be able to get into a position in the full access to meet up with him again at some point. But in the early access, there's no way to meet up with him again.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Chest locked. Dangerous. Holly. Zhentarim agent.
And we knew all of this. We were just seeing if there was any other dialogue options. And now we can talk to Oscar here.
No. No, please.
Okay, so it doesn't look like we can talk to Oscar.
No. No, please.
No, doesn't look like we can. Also, when you come down here, and this is a non-hostile area, you can talk to Brem, who has captured Oscar, and you can bargain with him to have Oscar released, and Oscar will thank you and head off to Baldur's Gate, where, assuming, probably in the full version, you'd be able to meet up with him again and possibly have some other quest options at that point. So, another reason not to get yourself into a always hostile, don't have any choices type of encounters. So we're just gonna see. It doesn't look like there's anything else that we can move around down here, so we may as well just... We don't want to pick that up. We might as well pick up
What's hiding here?
as much as we can right near us here. Okay, so all this is going to go to Astarion. That's going to go to Shadowheart. Okay, and all of these things are just marked as searchable. They're not marked as steal anymore, so I guess there's a benefit to getting into a combat situation with everybody, is none of this stuff is marked as steal. Okay. Now, there are other inhabitants of this cave. And I'll be anxious to see what state they are going to be. Okay, let's see what we have in these crates up here. Nothing. Okay, so, whoops, we don't want to pick that up. And we know we're encumbered. We're picking all this stuff up because we're going to be immediately transporting out of here before we go anywhere else. We're going to go sell this stuff and then we're going to come back. Okay, so we don't need to worry about what we're doing here. So we're going to head back to Sylvanus' Grove. And we're going to walk back up here and sell all of this. So it's been an interesting playthrough here so far. Some stuff that I haven't encountered before in my previous playthroughs because of different choices that I've made. And that's kind of the point here, is to give everybody some ideas about what happens due to different choices that you make throughout the playthrough, because they can have vastly different impacts. Brim, as a trader, has a really good ring that whenever you heal somebody gives you some pretty significant buffs, so it's a great ring for your cleric to have. That there's a chance that he's going to be able to sell to you. And that's one of the reasons that you want to try and, you know, get down there and have that option available to you. But he also sells some other really nice magical items. So having those, the option to be able to choose from those, is also another benefit that we just don't have access to now. Okay, let's talk to Aaron here.
Anything else? Of course, but please remember, you're not the only one in need.
And at least sell off enough stuff here to get our carry weight down. Now, remember, leather armor +1, that's the same as the faded drow leather armor, which is the best light armor that you can get in the game, I believe, up to this point. So, alright, so let's just start selling off these items. And we're going to keep his rapier. Okay, so he's done, it looks like. I can sell off one more book.
Sylvanus be with you.
And now we're going to... let's actually just stop here and see if I can redistribute some carry weight. And I know why he's that high. We're going to move these over here. We're going to split these. And then we're going to leave ourselves with just 2 of those. And that should get us down. Okay. Now we'll go down here and speak with Damon. Okay, and see if he has...
Looking for steel? I have, well, something close.
Okay. So, again, the stuff that we've sold off previously, a battle axe +1, a blooded great axe, same stuff that, and then the same stuff that we have sold to him previously. So, look at Will here, and we can sell off. We should be able to sell off
will we do for work when
the rest of our items here.
Whatever we want.
I think I'd make a fine teacher. Or a
Okay,
baker.
there's nothing else in here
A butcher? Really?
that we need to sell off, right? No, that's it.
Shoes. Well, where are my boots?
But we can sell off. I don't care about maximizing my money with some of these items, like these books and parchments and all that sort of stuff. Even the broken loot I'm not too worried about. The spear, short sword, crossbows are different matter, same with the armors. Okay, and the same with some of this, and especially some of these. So now we'll go out and we'll transfer all of these items over to Will and overload him. But then he can sell off all of this stuff. Smoke powder bomb is going to go back to him. Bowl, lever, and then all of this stuff. And it's probably going to be quicker if I do this instead of dragging it. Okay, and now he's overloaded, but it doesn't matter. We're not walking anywhere. Once we move all this high-price stuff over to him, then we'll have him sell these things off. And that's the only reason to do it. Like I say, I wasn't willing to spend the time to prioritize everything. And we're going to leave these keys here just for now. Okay, now we can have one more conversation with them and sell the rest of this off.
Well, something close.
Okay, so we shouldn't have anything here that we want to sell. Doesn't look like it. Shouldn't have anything here either. Or here. It should all be on Will now. We can just sell all of this off.
Right.
And again, same thing with the faded drow leather armor. You can see how expensive it was. But we don't need it. Okay. And there's nothing that we want to buy here. Nothing is an upgrade for us. The Blooded Great Axe is interesting. It's 15 to 29, but only when you're less than 50% hit points. Compared to the just Great Axe plus 1, which is 1d12 plus 14 for my Barbarian. This is 1d12 plus 13 plus additional 1d4, but only conditional. So, not using that. The Great Axe plus 1 is what I'm going to be utilizing as my backup weapon for now. So, actually, was there... Okay, it was a broken loot that had in it. Okay. So that's it. So now we can head back to the Zhentarim hideout. We're going to head back down here and we're going to explore the rest of this and see what happens with the rest of the people who were in the hideout here. Oh, so we do have a liar. I want to pick that up. Wow, I've got a lot of alchemist fire. I'm going to send that to Will. We don't need any more of those. I think I've searched down here already. Yeah, I have. So, all of this gold, go over here. Okay. And the lyre, I'm going to move over here because I just honestly don't like the aesthetics of carrying that drum around on Will's back. The lyre looks quite a bit better in doing it, so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head back up here to the top. I don't care how they get there. Okay, and once we're up here, we're going to start slowly working our way through this area here. And see if we run into any more combat. On previous playthroughs, the two groups of people have been pretty separate from each other. Meaning if you got into combat with one of them, you would not automatically be entered into combat with the other group. But because there's obviously some logic tag that has been applied to our characters because of Rugen telling us or giving us the crate, these other characters may be instantly hostile as well. So I'll be anxious to kind of see how it goes here. Okay, so now for this, what I am going to do is right now we're completely out of cleric spells. So if we get into a fight, it's going to be, and we're completely out of rage charges as well. So I think what we're going to do is take a long rest here. Okay. So, doesn't look like anybody absolutely needs to talk to us. So let's go get some camp supplies here. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Do we have anything that's worth 4? We do. Split that. And that should be 40. And we'll just quickly run through
Sorrow's guide us. Did you want something?
Conversation options. This is all the same stuff.
Always makes my day better.
Yes.
Okay, same stuff.
How can I help?
Okay, we do have another magical artifact that we can give him, but we're not going to. Okay, let's go talk to Will and Blazel real quick. Okay, same stuff. No new conversations.
Speak.
And nothing else here. So, we can just go and take our rest. Okay, we're going to auto-select those. That'll be 40 out of 40. So it looks like we do have some other camp supplies in our inventory that we want to deal with. Oh yeah, we just picked them up. So, we picked them up off the table up there. Okay, and now we're back in here, so we want to get Will, get his mage armor back. We're going to not bring out his familiar yet, just because we know that causes a problem. And I don't want it to cause any issues as we're going through the remainder of this automatically. If they're not hostile, then we don't want the imp triggering them to be hostile. So I am going to toggle my group mode here and walk in here. These do not look like they're armed. They are not. Okay. We can head up this way and just open up the map. That's all this is really doing, is just opening up the map.
That might be worth a look.
Oh, there's a dirt mound here. I didn't even realize that was there. So I guess it is a good idea that we came this way. Nothing buried there. Really?
Better not be cursed.
I don't think I've ever seen that before at a dirt mound. Okay, and this is at the bottom of, or the top of the ladder that leads up from the bottom over here. So, multiple ways to go around this entire elevated area up here. And you can jump across this area to get over here. But I'm going to approach... Actually, that might be a good idea for us. Because if they become hostile, I don't want the proximity mines triggering. Everybody can make it over here, that's good. Whoops, I don't want anybody going down there. Okay, this is interesting. I don't see the other Zhentarim members. They're usually here.
An illusion. There must be something worth being kept secret.
Wonder what's hiding back there.
And yes, we will come back and deal with that here in a second. But, yeah. I do not see any of the other Zhentarim members. So, I don't know if they just don't spawn. If things go immediately hostile, that seems a little strange to me. But maybe that is the case. There's normally a second group of Zhentarim back here in this area, as well as some wolves that are tame pets for the Zhentarim. And if you go into this area back here, they will immediately become hostile. Okay, and again, the lighting's broken. It's not, I guess it's not. So we have an elevator winch that's locked. Okay, that has an elevator attached to it. And that's going to be interesting because the key for that is held by one of the Zhentarim that's normally back here. Okay. So in here we can bring
Someone there. Step lightly.
Astarion in. Look around, there's a bunch of stuff that's marked as steel in here. Okay, but we have two chests. Both of them marked disarm. Okay, a DC of 15. We've got a total bonus of plus 10 right now. Didn't need it even anyway. Again, 30, some big numbers here. And then we can lockpick it.
Let's crack it open.
Again, a DC of 15. Okay, and it's basically just gold and some pricey objects. So now we can disarm this one. Not a problem. And we can lockpick it. Okay, again, these would be high DCs for anybody other than Astarion. For him, these are not a problem at all. Okay, and some alchemist fire, and some more gold. Okay, so lots of gold in here, but that's really about it. You can look around and hold Alt. We have some more camp supplies that we can take. Some rope, no use for it in the early access. Okay, and some crates to search. But the key that we picked up, or the keys that we have picked up, are what's giving us access to these locked areas here, these locked doors. This button here arms all of these proximity explosives. So it can be an interesting tactic to use if you get back here in this back area and you want to, and you get into a fight, to arm those explosives and let the other Zhentarim run into them. It can, like I say, be rather interesting. But since I've got access to all of this stuff, might as well just steal it all. Don't need... Well, actually, I can send those to Will for him to sell. Okay, and then another iron gate. Okay, and this... Okay, I thought the iron key unlocked it. I guess it doesn't. So we'll have Astarion lockpick it. DC of 20, so now we're getting kind of serious. Okay, so we need to roll at least a 9 here. Okay, so that's a possible failure. Oh, wow. Got a nice roll from guidance. Okay, now in here, got some gold. We can search these bookshelves. We do have a book we can take here on the shelf. More bookshelves. Do have a burlap sack here. And another book that we can take. The oil lamp isn't worth anything. Backpack. What you're really in here for is the ornate chest. And we do have some
What's this?
some high-priced paintings to take in here. There's a brass locket up here. There's a horn, worth some gold. Some other stuff on the table, or on the desk, I mean, that you could take if you'd like. Alright, we do have a gold ring. The music box isn't, or yeah, I guess it is worth. Didn't think it was. And then we have the ornate chest. As always, I want to walk up to it and make sure it's not trapped first. Okay. And that's it.
I've a lot on my mind and, well, in it.
Okay. So, looking at our map, we've cleaned out the Zhentarim hideout except for this area. The elevator is unlocked using a key that you find on the body of one of the Zhentarim that you kill back here. I don't think there's any way to unlock that. Well, I'm pretty sure that that's what that key is. Let me make sure that I'm not missing that key anywhere. But I don't think I am. Because I don't think... Yeah. You can't use the elevator because the winch is locked.
Doesn't work.
Can Astarian lockpick this? Oh, we can. Okay, not a problem then. So, I got a bonus of plus 10, so I don't even need to add any extra bonuses to this. Okay, so that's good that he can lockpick this. Okay, and now you can go down the elevator, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for the start of our next playthrough. Okay. So the Zhentarim hideout didn't go as expected, or necessarily as wanted, because I would have preferred to have traded with Brem and seeing what magic items I could get from him. Especially that ring. If that ring does manage to show up in his inventory, it's a great ring for your cleric to have. Because every time they heal, you get some serious buffs for whoever they heal, and if they spread that heal around, then everybody gets them. So, but it is what it is. And again, we're not going to restart playthroughs or reload things unless it's an obvious bug or something like that. So, I think for now we're going to call the stream here. We're going to pick up next week at this location, and we'll head down the elevator over here and kind of give us a glimpse of what is to come. And then head out and probably head down toward the, quote, sunlit wetlands, unquote, right now. And do some exploring down there. What is at the bottom of this elevator we can deal with, but we won't want to explore much farther than that. It's part of a whole nother thing that we'll talk about next week when we get down there to start with. So, I think that's going to be it for now. So, again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.